So, Laura, 10 years Plotly is celebrating from August 2013 to August 2023. And you've been with us since when, 2014?
Yeah, about that. Started part-time in 2014.
2014. So you must have seen a lot, like from Chart Studio to Plotly JS, Plotly Express, Open Source Dash, Dash Enterprise. Uh, do you mind, like, how did your role look like back then when you first started?
Whew. Honestly, the founders were working out of a co-working space with one employee, and they were mostly focused on building the product. They were coding.
Okay.
And when I first met them, they had a stack of mail on a desk that had come from government bodies in the US and Canada, banks, legal firms, and no one was touching it.
Oh, wow.
So my role really started kind of as operations, which was deliberately vague and broad. And my initial tasks were to find an office, a physical office, and deal with this mail. And it quickly
So wait,
turned
so you
into.
joined us before we even had the Montreal office?
I did. Yeah,
Wow.
I found the office. Um, and then, yeah, as you can imagine, opening that mail quickly turned into a new set of responsibilities that, most of them were not wanting to deal with or prepared to deal with. So,
or had the time, right?
Or at the time, yeah. So my role, I took on pretty much everything that the founders wanted to give me. And mostly that was internal operations related things. So we quickly grew from about 6 people to 15. And we were building our new office out. We were building the team. That meant internal policies and documents and record keeping, compliance in Canada, compliance in the US, payroll, accounting, legal. I think I've pretty much touched everything here at Plotly at least once, except the code.
Except the code. And is it? I'm assuming it's like pretty exciting, and I'm assuming you're also pretty proud of the fact that you pretty much helped build everything from the ground up.
Yeah, I mean I think that's one of the biggest reasons I've stuck around at Plotly is because you have that tangible impact every day, and that's what makes it exciting and fun. And I've been able to grow my career as well.
Yeah. And so I know that as a young company, we were constantly thinking of how we can make our employees want to stay with us. How did that process change over time from the very beginning?
Yeah, well, initially it was the vision of the founders that attracted people. And we were mostly finding people through our network or through open source projects and communities, and attracting them to the exciting product we were building and the vision of the company. And that worked for quite a while, honestly. And largely it still works. We just had to refine and kind of ensure our offering got more robust over the years. But we also realized a couple years into my role that we needed to attract and retain a wide range of different folks from different backgrounds, and to build a good team, of course. So we had to think pretty carefully about our compensation offering and the environment and the culture we were building here at Plotly. So one of my favorite memories is when we had an employee let us know that they wanted to go on parental leave. And of course, this was something we'd never dealt with before. So I was speaking to the co-founders at the time, and I proposed that we, as a startup, offer a parental leave top-up on top of the government payments that the employees would be getting, which at the time was really progressive and rare for a company at our stage. But the founders were like, yeah, let's do it. And at that time, I was like, wow, I love this place. And this is kind of what I want to do. I want to ensure that I'm a part of these decisions going forward. And I want to help shape those decisions. And so that was kind of one of the key, I guess, memories I have, and what helps me inform the decisions I make today in my job too.
That's also, I remember when you and I had the conversation when the hiring interview, and you mentioned, I asked about benefits. That's also one of the reasons that attracted me, and one of the
Great.
biggest reasons I made that decision to join Plotly, because of the great benefits that we have, in addition to the great people that I already knew.
Yeah, nice.
Um, Now, so we had to think about all that as we're growing as a company, um, and hiring more people. And the years passed by, and then came COVID, right? And COVID changed the landscape for many companies, and I'm sure for us as well. Although I wasn't part of Plotly when during COVID. How how has the hiring landscape changed since COVID? How was Plotly able to adapt?
Yes, it was a really challenging time at first. 2020, really everything stopped. I think we all remember that pretty well. Um, there were a lot of companies, though, fortunately, that kind of bounced back. I would put Plotly in that group. We moved to remote work quite seamlessly. We all worked on the computer all day anyway. Um, and we were still able to sell our product and have customer interest. We still had inbound leads coming in.
Mhm.
And it picked up pretty well in Q3, Q4 of 2020. Um, but the hiring definitely changed. I'm sure most people remember that when we all went to remote work, it suddenly meant we could work for companies in different countries. And so, from my perspective, trying to hire during COVID, the major change was that we were competing now with global companies or US companies who were able to offer really high salaries. And you saw this inflation across
Mhm.
the board in tech, of salaries and compensation expectations. So that was really challenging for a lot of companies. It's starting to calm down now. There's less pressure on the wages, but um, at Plotly, we had to reassess our offering. We had to learn how to talk about it in a different way. We had to learn how to emphasize different elements that made us competitive, such as the flexible working hours and the fully remote option, even
Mhm.
as a lot of companies were kind of phasing that out, as you see now too.
All right.
We had to focus on our equity offering and really remind folks of what we're building and what our customers are using our product for, because that is at the end of the day why most people join us, is to be able to work on the cool stuff we're building.
I'm glad we were able to successfully make it out of COVID. A lot of companies did not, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy about that. Um, One thing I wanted to ask you, Laura, I don't think we've talked about this before, is what you've been here from the very beginning, built a lot of things from the ground up. What would you say are a couple of things that you are most proud of?
Honestly, Adam, we've been putting a lot more resources into our employer branding recently. And so that means that we're interviewing a lot of our current team members to help us kind of promote and give a better idea to future candidates or future employees what it's like to work at Plotly. And I reviewed those recently, those quotes and some of the content that our current employees have given my team and the marketing team. And it's really, really fulfilling and wonderful to read those quotes, because we work pretty hard on a lot of things and it can get lost um, in that noise.
Mm.
But when I read those quotes a few days ago, it reminded me of why I'm here and what makes my job worth, doing. And
Are we going to be able to see those quotes as well? Am I going to be able to see those quotes, or are they just within people?
they're being released monthly. We have employee
Okay,
spotlight, so they're featured there, I believe, on social media and through Medium articles. So yes, those are accessible.
cool, cool, cool,
Mm-hmm.
cool. All right. Well, it's 10 years, and hopefully we'll see each other again in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 20 years time in another video. But more for the short term future. What are you most excited about? What are you looking forward to?
I think I'm most excited about continuing to grow our team. It's very likely we'll continue to grow outside of North America in some respects for some departments. And I find that very exciting. It's all new when we get to recruit, hire, and engage people in different countries. So I'm definitely excited about that. I think we have some exciting product decisions as well to make. The space is getting more competitive. And yeah, one of the things that keeps me here at Plotly is the people I work with, Adam. And so I think what I'm most excited about is just taking on these challenges with the people that I'm working with, because it's when you're surrounded by people who are committed and dedicated and smart, it drives you to be that way as well. And so I find that environment very motivating.
Completely agree. I feel the same regarding not only the community members in Plotly Dash, but also my colleagues here at Plotly.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Laura, for giving us your time and sharing your perspective and your opinions on the last 10 years at Plotly. Happy anniversary, and until the next one.
Thanks, Adam.